Welcome to the last episode before Hard to Kill. Now, I gotta say this about this show. They tried to add a little bit extra to make it mean something when Hard to Kill is shown up. And I gotta say, I did enjoy it. They added. Normally, let's be honest here, they don't do very good when it comes to pay-per-views. So at least this time around, I will say they did add a good amount of stuff. That does make the pay-per-view look more interesting. First thing, when I don't have images of it, well, I think I do have an image. When it comes to the Hood Rats with Nevaeh as well as Havoc, it was a little overdone when it came to Nevaeh and Havoc choking out Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan. But hearing, well, once you hear Havoc say, "You like to talk too much, but we're going to take those titles," wasn't bad. I was okay with it. I'm glad it did happen. It needed to happen because if they're going to make the tag belts mean something for the knockouts, they got to make this mean something. Now, I do have my thoughts about what's going to happen, but I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to tell you who I think is going to win between those two teams. I do believe I know who's going to win, but I'm going to leave it. Now, I could say something about when it comes to Brian Myers and Josh Alexander, but I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave it because that's having it hard to kill from what I can tell. And I'm going to leave that alone because I don't know where we're going to go with Josh Alexander now that he's not working at this moment with Ethan Page. And they did show a repeat of Ethan Page setting up the match with him and the Karate Man, Ethan Page. I'm telling you, I want to see the cinematic. I want this cinematic. I want to see the cinematic. I want the cinematic. But the question I still have, and you guys can pose it below because someone's going to know it or someone still doesn't know. Is Ethan Page re-signed to Impact or is he not? Because if he's not signed to Impact and this cinematic goes over well, it's going to piss off a lot of people that it looks so damn good, but then he's not there anymore. That's going to really tick off a lot of people. But it would be understandable that either because Impact could not get him, or he just said, you know what, I've done all I can in Impact, I'm moving on. That's all I can say. First match, Taya versus Kimberly. The setup for the match between her and Purrazzo. Now, I got to say, this was a good match. It was. I've never had a problem with Kimberly's ring work. I never have. It's just that there's been so few knockouts for her to really work with. It makes it really hard to really get invested in how good she is and Taya. They're both very good wrestlers. I do believe Taya is better than both of them. If you got Kimberly versus Taya, it's Taya who's got better charisma and she's got better ring work. She just is, since she is a larger woman. And larger women are not always good when they move in the ring. And Taya Valkyrie is one of the best. Hands down. And I'm saying this right now. If she goes to the WWE to go with her husband eventually, it will be the worst mistake of her life. In fact, I'm hoping that her husband's contract is going to be finished soon because there's no reason for him to stay there. It is a waste. But it wasn't Taya who won. It was Kimberly. Due to the fact of Susan coming out, attacking Rosemary, who was trying to attack Purrazzo herself. And you get was that a roll-up? A roll-up. They had a couple of they had at least 2 roll-ups in this show, and I can't believe they went there. I can't believe it. At least a couple. I can't believe they went there. But that's just me. You guys tell me below if you are all right with that roll-up. I'm not too comfortable about it. It just irked me. That's just me. All right. We had Raju and Chris Bay versus Suicide and Manic. You guys know how I feel about Suicide. I don't hate Caleb with a K if it's him. Because it might not still be him. It looks like it's him. And to be honest, I so wish, and I don't know if anyone knows if he's still wrestling, if he can wrestle, but DJ Zima Ion, I wish would come back to Impact Wrestling and take up the moniker of Suicide. That is me. I truly believe Suicide should be with a wrestler who's more of a Mexican style. And I'm not taking anything away from Caleb, because if that is him, he's good in the ring, but he just does not fit Suicide. He's got the charisma of Suicide, but he does not have the style of Suicide. He just doesn't feel like it. He doesn't have the style. And even though the match was actually quite good, it wasn't great, but it was good, you pretty much, you got Chris Bay pinning Suicide, which kind of shows you where they think of Suicide. This kind of leads into what's going to happen at the triple threat at Hard to Kill when it comes to him, Raju, and the Manic himself, where they might just take his mask off. Unless it's not going to be Manic. And it'll be TJP at ringside and someone else will be wearing Manic's mask. But I do believe it's going to be TJP Manic, you know. Now, Diener versus Tommy Dreamer. And that was the thing I liked. It's not Cody Diener anymore. It is just Diener. Making it, and you see him in my face, it makes it really obviously clear. They have changed his... I gotta say this about Impact. They have not done very well when it comes to building characters that are homegrown. The Dieners have been with them for 2 years, or at least 2.5 years or more. I can't remember how long the Dieners have been there. I'd say about 2.5 years. And it's been good to see, finally, they're taking someone that came in. They split him off from the guy he's been working with. They know he has potential, and they give him a new moniker. They give him a new persona. And they let the person that you know 100% who could make a faction work in an Eric Young make this character work. And it's good to see that it happened. And Diener won. I don't really need to go very much in detail with this. Yes, Cousin Jake DQ'd the match. He DQ'd it because you got basically Diener smack him in the face when he's trying to convince him to snap out of it. And you smack him in the face, and as he gets back into the ring, he basically trips him up, and the ref sees it, and it's over. That's a good thing to see. They don't let the faces win every time. They're letting the heels get over, and then once you see the DDT used on Jake, you see the pile driver on Tommy, and then you see pretty much Joe Darling destroying a Rhino. He laid his ass out. 100%. It was great to see it. I'm glad to see it. Now, Dashwood, the Tennille, the foodie. She loves food. That's from what I understand. If you go to a YouTube channel, I've seen it once. That girl can cook. Damn. I would love someone who could cook. I can't cook. I mean, I can cook a little bit, but to have a girlfriend or wife who likes to cook, not because I want her as a homemaker, but that she likes to cook. One that shows she's very autistic. Not because she can just cook anything, but a person who can cook is actually very creative. I'm telling you right now, I can't cook, but I'm creative. Someone who can cook is also highly creative if they can do a lot of different recipes. They can branch off and do YouTube. They can branch off and do television. They can be an actor or actress. That's what I've learned. And it would be nice if she can cook. Anyway, when we see, and I don't think I got the shot of Caleb using a big ass hair sprayer that you haven't seen since, what, 2006 and 2010 when it came to the Beautiful People, that took me back a little bit. And I have not seen those type of situations when it came to the Beautiful People until like 2012 or 11 or 10, when any of them were still around and they did use a hairspray kind of thing, or someone else pretty much bit it off. So it's been a while. But the thing that got me was that you saw that Rosemary was by herself, and she did not want Taya by her side because she wanted her to get ready for a match on Saturday. Calling Crazy Steve. That was nice to see him chasing around Caleb. Now the question's going to be, will this be a one-off and then they just not going to do anything anymore? Or will they actually let Crazy Steve work with Rosemary for a little while? Because she's not doing the, well, let's see it. We haven't seen it. We're not seeing Johnny Bravo as her husband. Now, maybe they'll go back to it, and I hope they don't. I hope they drop the entire Johnny Bravo and Who Shot Bravo thing, because they don't need it now. Just bring back Larry D with XXXL and just do it that way. Unless they're going to bring in someone special, I hope they drop it. But it looks like they're not going anywhere with Johnny Bravo as her husband. They're not showing him. They're not talking about him. So I'm hoping they end this. But I do hope Crazy Steve will work with Rosemary and do something that makes some sense. Especially if they bring in Father Mitchell to make it mean some more than what it is. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Moose versus Matthew Palmer. That was... I haven't seen such a one-sided match that was non-selling much in a very long time. 4 drop kicks into the turn. Calm down. It was actually really good. Seeing that Moose took 4 drop kicks in the corner, and then 3 flying knees from the top turnbuckle, and he still destroyed Matthew Palmer, was beautiful. It had to happen. He had to be destroyed, and Moose annihilated this guy. But I'm not taking anything away from Matthew Palmer. He's actually very good in the ring. Those knee strikes he did to Moose, jumping straight up into his face, was very good. But we needed Moose to be a little more than what he is. I've always called Moose the Legend Killer. You remember me calling him that while ago. He just needed to do something more. And when they turned him into the Hitman, similar to Low Key, now he's acting like the Legend Killer that he is. He's destroying everyone. He's destroyed legends, and now he's becoming a legend. He does not let no one stop him. He is destructive. And I gotta say, at least in this respect, commentary got it right, saying that nothing can stop Moose. And I gotta say, this commentary is so bad right now. I really wish they switch out either Josh Matthews or Madison Rayne for somebody else right now. I don't hate them. Look, you guys, I don't blame you. After nearly a year of this, of when it really started really getting bad with the pandemic, up to now, it's nearly a year. Who wants to hear Josh Matthews anymore? It's hard to hear him when he was with Don Callis, because a lot of people didn't like him that much. But now with Madison, and them acting like they don't know each other, is so annoying. But it is what it is. And I don't hate them, but they really need to be swapped out so badly. Finally, we got Karl Anderson versus Rich Swann. The second roll-up of the night. Really? Not taking away from anything the match had. The match was actually very good. You got both sides barred from ringside. You got the Bullet Club barred. And then you have the Motor City Machine Guns barred. Now I'm calling them Bullet Club because they're trying to make it mean something. They are barred from ringside, so neither side could go in. The match was very good. I enjoyed how they tried to make it about Rich Swann's shoulder. And then you got Karl Anderson getting his shoulder messed up. And they tried to make it mean something. But then the roll-up? Seriously? Honestly, after the match was over and then they had to fight, I would have liked, and I'm being honest here, for me, and I don't like seeing it often, but a double DQ would have been the best option here. I am not fond of seeing Karl Anderson getting the pin here. I'm really not fond of him eating it. Having to get pinned. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, he had to do it because Rich is a champion. He has to be pinned. And I would agree with it. But it counts on how Hard to Kill is going to go down. Now, I'm going to make this clear. I'm saying this right now. You guys know how I feel about who should win that match. The Bullet Club must win. I'm saying it now. Unless they're actually going to continue after this, even if the Bullet Club loses. I'm just saying it like this. If the Bullet Club loses, but they're still continuing the story because Kenny doesn't get pinned, and he's going after the not the TNA Championship, but the Impact Championship, because now I'm thinking about Moose. That would make sense. That would make some sense. That he would not get pinned, Karl Luke gets pinned, and they would continue doing a story where he wants the title from Impact Wrestling. But if nothing happens, this was a waste of time. It didn't help Impact. I'm sorry, it didn't. But if the Bullet Club wins, they must let Rich face Kenny on AEW's own pay-per-view, and he has to win that damn title from Rich. And then if you're going to make this really mean something, because of how Moose was working in this match, you have Moose, months down the line, face a Kenny and get the title back. He will have the TNA title, he will have the Impact title, and if they need to merge them, they can merge them. That is how it should go. And I'm going to probably repeat this at Hard to Kill, counting on how it goes. But this is my point of view. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace. And almost forgot. Hope you guys liked the new intro. Peace.